closet shot. Nobody yet. That's good. This is the grunt work of the stream. This is the beginning. Oh, never mind. Somebody's here. Let's wait for people to water in. Okay. This should be good. Hi. Oh, more people. FNAF dude, Mr. Piracy. Okay. Alright. Boomer Phillips. Hi. Let's just wait. I'm just gonna wait for a little more people to enter. Hopefully, if they do. Shout out, okay? FNAF dude. Hi. Shout out to him, I guess. For those in the stream. Hello, Twisted Trails. Seen some of your haunts. They're pretty neat. But yeah, we're just waiting on a few people. Okay, 7. Alright. Let's see if I can adjust the But yeah, second live stream we're doing. You've seen the title. I'll go over that in a second. Once, a little more people show up, but I'm sorry, it's not that I'm being like, no, I don't have enough viewers, even though that's exactly what I'm saying. But it's just, I don't necessarily want to describe what's happening when there's not nobody, there's 7 people. I'm sorry if I sound like an a-hole, but, just, I don't want, a bunch of people to water in and be like, wait, what's going on? But they could catch up anyways. On Nightcrawler, yeah, classic. That's almost a hallmark, or it's a trademark of any camera video I do now, Anyways, I guess, while we're waiting, I guess, folks, what are your thoughts on the recent Spirit Halloween happenings? Teaser, 3 props released, just in general. What are our thoughts? Personally, I think they're pretty neat. Of course, some people think the 3 props they released aren't great. Any advice for new haunters? I guess there's a few advice. I think one big thing I'll talk about is, if you're talking about making a haunter YouTube channel or something, the doll thingy, where is the doll thingy? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Gargoyle's overpriced. Yeah, definitely. But, just follow the new news. Talk about that when it happens. But, yeah. There's a lot more stuff you can watch. Thumbnails are great. But, in terms of this year, though, so far, I think that's pretty cool. Durealist this year. Okay, 9 people. This feels about good. But anyways, you've read the title, seen the thumbnail. This is discussing and showing... Not sure what you're talking about, but I'm gonna be careful with that, because every single Do You Know X comment leads to something bad. I know that. Maybe you could elaborate, but I don't. I'm not gonna fall for that yet. But anyways, you've seen the title, thumbnail, said that 5 million times already. But this is going over a majority of the animatronic ideas I've made. Do you know from production? Nope, I don't. But I guess to start things off, I'm gonna go Grim Productions. Okay, sure. I mean, yeah, it comes to live streams a bit, But I'll be going in chronological order, from when I've made them, say what years they're from. But this should be a little neat, But let's begin with 2 that I don't have right now. And I'm just going to be discussing. You can imagine them in their head. They're probably going to be a lot cooler to you guys in your head than just if I were to actually show them. Because around when I made them, I'm pretty sure my drawings were really bad. But the first one I made was called the Morgue Monster. It's just a, standing up person in a body bag that would, turn side to side or something, groan, be bloody. What YouTuber inspired me? A culmination of things. I mean, I started haunting back in 2018, technically. Don't watch those. But it's just because I wanted to make a YouTube channel. But I decided, I like Spirit. I'm really big into this. I'm going to start. In terms of haunters, I don't actually really know. I've sort of just culminated a lot of them into what I think the perfect haunter would be. Like, if there's one haunter that could exist, one haunter that I would watch, I just turn it into my videos. So that's why I have, like, memes, because I love the haunter memes. You know, new stuff is good to get out there, ideas, because I like seeing ideas, they're cool, and I like sharing them as well. But that's mainly the reason I started doing it. But yeah. But, you know, that first idea, morgue monster, nothing big, but it could have been okay, little unoriginal. And the other one would be this big, like, Phantom Reaper guy that would just be, like, it would speak the end times and stuff, but it would be fairly bland. It would have, like, yeah, shout out FNAF dude, you know, Ty, if that, unless you want it in a video or something, I guess. I'm just, you know, shout out to FNAF dude if this is what you want. But yeah, the, you know, Phantom idea I had isn't much, wasn't big, and I don't really have anything to show for it. I remember doing like a giant setup page about how you'd set it up with pictures and stuff, and it was just way too complicated, like maybe even worse than Crazy Crate setups. That would be a little hard to do, but I mean like literally building the module together and like a million different pulls you had to snap together, that's sort of what it was. Why do you have a picture of sheep behind you? Put that up years ago. Thought it would be neat. I just have it back there. It's there to stay. At least till further notice, I don't know. I just have it. But, you know. Yeah, so it's just super complicated setup or whatever. But I guess I'll get into the drawings. So the black phone guy in the thumbnail, and I really... We'll get to that. Stick around. I'll probably get to that around the ending, because it's... Sheep are cool. I mean, it's a cool picture, let's be honest. Yeah. But, let's get into these ideas. So, I'm going to try and find them chronologically, so to speak. Okay. I think some... Hi, Owen Experiment. Good to see you. But let's start off with some of these, shall we? So the first one I made isn't connected to the rest of these a bit, but it is this Reaper guy with a skeleton dude in the cage. Made this a while ago, of course, my drawings improved. And if you've seen some of my... Oh, 10 viewers. But if you've seen some of my, like, digital drawn ideas I did, like about start 2022-ish, then this is the inspiration for the Reaper of the Damned, which was the, like, big Reaper holding, like, a dead, decaying corpse, which is pretty cool. But, like, this would be very Rotten Ringmaster-ish. I didn't jot down any phrases or something, or anything, or, like, animation, but it would basically be the KG, yeah, a reskin of Rotten Ringmaster, definitely, like, just that. Looking back on it, it's not the best idea ever. It's sort of neat if it was done right, with the right detail, which, I mean... I don't know about that. But, you know, it could be neat. I could see myself maybe picking this up. I don't know what his phrase would be along the lines of, but hey, whatever. Anyways, to get into the main ones that I've cooked, those are the themes ideas. But to start off, these ones are all sort of similar in, like, layout. But the first one, you might not be familiar with, but it is a licensed Armsy from the video game The Forest, which, of course... As I've said, some of you might not be familiar with, but I absolutely love it. If you're not sure what it is, there are a lot of great playthroughs and YouTubers. HGJ used to... Yeah, no, HGJ's old haunts were awesome. They were so cool. Like, I'm thinking of doing a video sometime. I've been having it brewing for years, and I'm collecting cool haunts, but just of really cool haunts, and I'd put that in here. But basically, if you don't know what The Forest is... It's basically a game where you're a plane crash survivor. A plane crashes, and you have to survive on a, like, island, peninsula. That's all. Yeah, well, I mean, college. But anyways, to describe, you're in this, like, fending for your life from, like, creatures and stuff. But eventually you start finding, like, cannibalistic tribes and mutants and stuff. And they're just... Did he get anything last year? I don't know, honestly. I genuinely don't know. But, like, I'd advise checking this game out. If you like stuff like mutants, flesh monsters, or, like, body horror, I definitely advise checking that out. If you like sandbox survival games, it's good. It has a pretty freaky story. But it's this mutated, like, thing with multiple arms. Looking back on it, I don't know how Spirit would pull this off, really. It would be pretty tricky. Yeah, I don't think. Actually, no. He got the kid, the candy bag kid from Party City. I know that. But, so it would be licensed from this game, The Forest. Yeah, I know. He didn't. But it would be about 7.5 foot tall, maybe 8 feet. Really, again, pretty tall. $350. Looking at Spirit's price now, that would not be possible at all. And I'm sorry that just live's mirrored for me, so that's why I keep turning it around. But it would just turn side to side, and its arms would move, and it would make the sounds it makes in the game. No, I don't think he has. But I don't think they'd do this because, A, it's really freaky. Technically has nudity. But I'd seriously advise you to check out the game. If I ever made a second channel, that's what I'd talk about. Yeah, Monty. I have him right over there in a box. I put him away, but I haven't put away the box yet. But yeah, I think this is a fairly neat idea. I definitely love to see something from it. But yeah, this... If this live's... Hopefully I won't regret saying this and everybody will just click off. But if you're not interested in this... I mean, you've seen the thumbnail and all, and just seeing my ideas, I'd advise maybe. Jaden videos do some good. They're cool. I really liked his old thing. Or sorry, his sorry, I couldn't see that one. Yeah, his last upload was 4 months ago. He hasn't been posting a lot. But I guess on to the next one, which is pretty neat, in my opinion. Of course, tooting my own horn. But this is the Falling Face Clown, if you can see that, which is a very unique name, might add. It's a clown which its face falls off, and I call it the Falling Face Clown. I don't know if you... Thanks. I don't know if you picked up on that. Its face falls off, and it's called it... I'm such a good namer. But anyways, it would be $230, which, of course, looking back on it, no, it wouldn't. It would not be $230. But this... I made these back in 2020, so prices were a little different back then. But it would be 6.5 feet tall. I guess, sure, but I haven't seen that. And its animation, it would be like rising up, sort of like a creeping rising doll or like Rising Reaper of Death. And it would just rise up, talk to you a bit, and it would have digital eyes. And then its face would drop off. Yeah. It would be attached with strings or something, so it could like come back up, but it would be talking about like showing you a trick or something, and but yeah, 300 or 350 definitely if they actually did it for sure. Maybe even in the 400s because like Nozzles did way less for way more money. That's not great. Got a little spoiler of that one there. Oh, thank you. But I think this would be really sick, honestly. Like, a falling face clown. Clowns are overdone and all, but it would be gory. It would be pretty freaky, whatever. But yeah, that's just... You know, that's what that is. I forgot to color in his shoes years ago when I made him, so that's a little weird. But I definitely think that would be neat. Now, moving on, we have the hung-up hooked zombie. I'm sorry, I'm so bad with the names. But it would be the zombie in a jumpsuit that's just hung up. Yeah, their prices are not doing so well. But I think this is a very standard idea, this one. But it's just like classic, I love zombies. You know, it's really hard to mess up good zombie prop. Like only like Spike or so would be a bad one. But it would be $190. Excuse me. Again, looking back on it, I don't think so. Yeah. And the thing is, though, I don't think prop prices will drop because, like, you know, manufacturing costs are going up. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not the most original idea, of course, but it's just, it would be cool. They need to stop making clowns. Yeah. Apparently there are 2 coming this year, which is even a little much, if I'm honest. And they should do a lot more human clowns, like Waving Wally type things. But this would be 7 foot tall from, like, chains to toe, even though he doesn't have any toes. He's footless, his feet are cut off, so that's a little I don't know. Um, but yeah, he just thrash around with like zombies, screams, roars, and he'd be a pretty violent prop. I think they should stop, but definitely lower. Yeah, no, I don't think they should stop. Yeah, more aliens, definitely. And you'll see it a little later, but I'd also like some more like cosmic horror type aliens, which would be so hard to pull off, but it would be sick. But you know, it's a fairly standard idea. He'd be in a jumpsuit riddled with gunshots, very similar to the Hung Up song from 2015. Yeah, no more clowns unless they're original. I swear, if we get more that are just like, I have something funny to tell you. It's so funny you'll die laughing. I'm going to jump off a bridge. Moving on to the next ones. One more zombies. Yeah, doll-based props maybe, but zombies are so cool. I mean, we just need more zombies. This one, if you have stuck around for a while and followed my early 2022 ideas, you'd recognize this guy. I did a little touch-up of him. But this is Terrible Tommy, which, of course, 2020 is when Johnny Punk came out. But I thought, hey, bullies are actually fairly original ideas. Don't think they should stop doing them, because, like, Henry Bowers from It and All. The drawing is definitely very rough. I pretty much just did a rectangle for his legs and split it in half. Like, let's be honest here. The drawings for these ones specifically are not good. More traditional Halloween monsters, agreed. Especially Universal monsters. Cryptids, awesome. But he'd be 5.5 feet tall, definitely like fairly like young teenager height. $200, I think. Yeah, I said 200, which isn't too bad. Honestly, I could see that happening. He'd and his mouth would move and his lighter would move to the can of hairspray, and he'd like set it on fire. It would come out. Again, as I've said, some of you may have seen this idea before, but I think it could be neat. His thing about Johnny Punk is he wasn't threatening, but this one would be obviously threatening to burn you and stuff, and he just speak a bunch of phrases. Look in here, he doesn't have a mask. It would just be a like general face, and he did a sort of like shadow there-ish. You're bored? Sorry. Sorry, I guess. But of course, you know, it's like what he, I don't know what I should. Hey there, please stop leaking our lineup. I doubt you're the real spirit. I'm just gonna say that. And if you are, I'm not leaking anything. Like, I'm talking about it, but, you know, hey. But this next one, come up, yeah, no, it's definitely not. But this next one comes up later. I redid it, but it's called the Live Contents Crate. I had a lot of these are your props? Well, sorry, but hopefully, really, because, I mean, I like these ideas. I made them. But it would be 3.7 feet tall, sort of like Experiment 4. Maybe I predicted it? I don't know. But, like, $160, which could definitely happen, really. Like, $160 for this could work. And it would just make, like, weird, like, monster groans and roars. You're not fooling anybody with that. Now it's clear you're joking. But, you know, cage shakes and rattles, constant motion. And it would be fog compatible, too, so, like, fog would come out of the rips and tears. Have the, like, glowing eyes in there. Could be neat, definitely. I think it could be a cool idea. But it's very simple. The Spooky Midnight Studios made it. I believe it. Now, this next one here is a little strange, but it's called the... Well, because it's not real, they're just messing with us. But this one is the Mutant Spider Crawler. Yeah. It would just look like this. It would be 3.5 foot tall, $120, which wouldn't be too bad for this. And it would be fairly basic, and would be, like, good for a sort of wasteland haunt. Or, you know, something like that. And it would, like, just make, like, squealing and, what is this? Cracking sounds for some reason. I don't know why. But it would be, like, sort of wasteland, like, toxic waste mutated thing. And the front legs would move, and it would have an eye up there, if you can see. That would, like, look around. Not too bad of an idea. Not, like, the highlight of the lineup, definitely. I don't think it would be. Obviously, like, some people would like it, some people wouldn't. Yeah, actually, that is sick. Like this being taller with walk through legs, definitely. But it would be a very small sort of thing. Hey, maybe I can make it taller and then do a young version of this. This would be the young version. I mean, if Spirit can get away from that, I can too, or get away with that. Sorry, Spider Walk. It would honestly, like, the companies better take notes. But, that's cool. The next one is called The Demonic Cultist, which wouldn't really be demonic, but it looks like this. Gave it a weird looking helmet, like very otherworldly. Like symbol around its neck. Now, it would be $205. Very bizarre price. Like 205, seriously, I don't get that. 6.7 feet tall. Again, a fairly weird height, but whatever. I think it could still be neat or whatever, you know? I'm saying whatever a lot. And it would just turn side to side very slowly, and its phrases would just be like deep. Yeah, that's awesome. Young spider walkway. But its voice would be very deep, like alien sort of chanting. And I think this could be neat. It could work. It could be like a very like cool thing. Yeah, ants or like babies straight up. Honestly, like I think cultists and like sort of the I love cults. They're so if Spirit Halloween did instead of Halloween Christmas stuff. Well, some haunters do cover Christmas. I don't. I mean, I like, when I'm out and about, I'll like look for the Christmas decorations and they're neat, but I don't nerd out about them nearly as much as I do Halloween stuff. But whatever. This is a fairly cool idea, I think. I'd love to see more cult stuff. But let's keep looking. This one, despite having no chains, is Hollow Haunts is here. Hello. But this one is called Chain to the Grave. It would be $300. Not bad. Put up some lights and inflatables for Christmas. Yeah, I don't do much either. So, hi. It would be 7 feet tall, and it would be Krampus reskin, really. Like, I thought, hey, Krampus looked really cool. What if they redid it, but as a ghoul type thing? So it would have a very Hauntress-like face, with a sort of like body type of Krampus turned side to side. It could be really imposing and freaky. I definitely think that would be really neat. And it would make chain rattling and like growling sounds. Maybe some like wind or like something like that. But if it was big, real, and that would just be creepy cloth on it, but now that I think about it, hair would be really cool also. Name sounds familiar. Oh, damn, you're right. Chained down. Oh, never mind. This is called Chained Down for Centuries. They're different, but someone unliked the stream. But, I think it would be neat. Just a big prop, turn side to side, imposing. Now this next one is the Graveyard Fiend, which would look like this. It would be sort of like, that Morse Costumes one from like years back? Yeah, Krampus reskin would be awesome. That's, I think that would be really cool. But it would be sort of like, that Morse Costumes Reaper they did a while back, where it comes to like the graveyard and he'd open up the coffin and there's the dead guy inside? It would pretty much just be that, but bigger. It would be $330, which is something this complex, considering what we've seen with the nozzles last year. This would be up in the 400s, definitely. Totally not 330. But, and it would be... I didn't say how tall it would be. Should make a prop that's it. Yeah, no, giant bugs, or bugs in general. They gotta do bugs. Or, like... In fact, I think I have a bug idea coming up in a while. It's technically been a lot of... True, like turning side to side. But with the same body type and stuff. That would be pretty neat. But I didn't say the price for this, but it would be around 7 feet. All the props that just... Yeah, a lot of props do that. Mainly here. But what it would do is it would just speak multiple phrases, and then would open the coffin and the corpse would lunge out. And, the Reaper's mouth would move. Mouth movement is pretty standard. Its eyes would light up. Obviously, Reaper drawing itself, not that good. Jeez, my arm's getting tired. But it's a fairly basic idea. Most of my early ones are basic. But again, it could be like neat. I think a lot of people would like this, find it pretty cool. Of course, more detailing and stuff. Now that I realize I have a lot of Reapers with dead corpses. Well, not, I mean, dead corpses are, yeah, all corpses are dead, really. Have to run, but good job. See ya. Take care. Good luck with your next haunt coming up. I don't think you'd be working on it yet, but even so, I I have faith in you, always. But yeah, like this guy, the Reaper of the Damned. So I have a lot of Reapers with corpse props. I don't know why. It would be cool. This next one, Mr. Dark Mechanism maybe, could be used for this prop. Yeah, it could, honestly. Like, a scissor mech would be really good. Hey, someone could make a custom of it. This next one I'll show is insanely rushed. I did it just because I thought, hey, there should be a little girl prop. Which I don't have a lot of ideas because I don't buy the little girl props. But I'll just go really quickly over this one. Hi, how's it going, Grim? That's cool. I put very little effort into this one, I'll be honest. Great sign. But it's called Stabbing Cindy. It's a little girl with a knife. Essentially, though, I mean, that fake Spirit Halloween imposter came in saying these are props. But, I mean, I predicted Experiment for a bit. I predicted Betty Sharp, because this is essentially Betty Sharp. But it would be like $110, about 3 foot tall. Yeah, exactly, Betty Sharp. It would just laugh and scream, and the arms would just, and it would just stab and turn side to side. Very rushed. I straight up don't like this idea. I don't think a lot of people would care for it, really. But, you know, just moving past that. And now we have the themes, which I didn't draw for all of them. I drew for some of them. More kid-themed yeah, like, kids can work. They just always butcher the faces so much. But, yeah, like, as you say, the attic theme had so many good ones. Like, Possessed Wall Hanger, the Broken Spine Girl, Peekaboo Penny. Definitely could be cool. Very profound message. But I didn't draw the, like, actual front view for the themes. I just did, like, a top-down view. But this one, I didn't say the name of, which is a little weird. But this would be a Spirit Jungle. Yeah, a jungle. I guess. But, so, a jungle theme would be a little weird. This was coming out off of the island, definitely. Because it's like, hey, island, maybe they could progress to a jungle, I don't know. Evil monkeys could work. Obviously, Monty would have fit well. And I pulled a spirit here. None of the props rips her face. That would be pretty sick. That would be really cool. None of the props fit a jungle, if I'm honest. It's very strange. What it would be is this front one, it would say Spirit Expedition Company. So I guess that... But it would be sort of like barbed wire and stuff. Major spelling error, probably. You know, this was made years ago. But it would be barbed wire and a fence. I don't know why, like, if it's a wildlife preserve or something. This would have sort of walkthrough type thing, where it'd be a bunch of trees linked with vines and stuff, which could be neat. And it would have a, like, fallen down ruin tower in it. And as for the... I'm just going to move closer for this so I don't have to, you know... what am I doing? Like, hold my arms out as much. Sorry for that stalling. But I guess, like, if we want to go prop placement, the demonic cultist would be here facing outwards. 7-foot zombies would be so cool. Especially if they made it, like, jacked, like, really strong, like, hulking werewolf size. Dude, a hulking-sized werewolf zombie. Think of that. That would be so cool. Then chained down for centuries would be there. Like, 2 archway props, definitely very big. This is such a weird angle of my face. Then up here, Krampus would be returning, which, I mean, we love Krampus. Maybe you don't. Then live contents crate would be there. Mutant spider crawler. Not the best prop placement, really. And then sitting clown, I didn't come up with, or I didn't draw him, but it would just be a clown that's sitting, and it would talk. Really groundbreaking stuff, really. But, you know, do you know about Showbiz Pizza? I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't quite follow that kind of stuff. Evil voodoo doctors and safari animals. Yeah, they would definitely fit. I didn't put them. Obviously, I think Spirit brainwashed me a bit. But morgue thing, which I actually mentioned, and I didn't draw, it would be like, I think just a thing in a morgue bag. I actually have a morgue prop coming up later, and this live might be going on forever. But whatever. Graveyard Fiend over there. Should have had, yeah, maybe. Think the jumps are props. Yeah, that would be great. Jumping Spider would be there. Classic. Oh yeah, jump scare props. Falling face clown would be there. Yeah, okay. The Armsy idea I had would be there, and the Crouchy would return to be there. And I also said Reaper, which I just realized it's because Jack the Reaper would be like right here. More scarecrows, agreed. I love scarecrows, but Jack the Reaper would be right there on top of the broken tower. Definitely inspired by the ruins. And the next theme idea I have, only two, is... Oh, wait, that's Sandy, not Cindy. Whatever. I hate to be... But basically, this idea, I straight up don't remember what it was, and it's not very detailed. I think it was supposed to be like a sort of like jungle expedition base center, so it would be a sort of house type thing. Like if you watch jungle movies, that's sort of what it would be like. Looking back on it, it would be better as a bunch of tents and stuff, which will come up later. I don't think I drew them, but still. Although, no, I don't know. A catacombs theme, definitely. I had ideas for one a while back, but they're not drawn. So let's see. Let's see. Hung Up Hooked Zombie would be right here on these sort of like struts almost. Definitely a good spot for him. Then Mutant Barrel. I don't remember what this is. I'm assuming it's just a mutant that... Yeah, I want two. I'm assuming it would just be like... Yeah, Mutated Gator. I missed out big time with making the props not fit the themes at all. Hello, Caleb Bostwick. Good to see ya. But yeah, so... Hello, MW Haunts. Stabbing Sandy would be there. Like near the middle. Terrible Tommy would be there. Mutated Rat. Although that was pretty much sewer varmint, so they did do that. And Cursed Elevator, it's one I didn't make. I didn't draw, but like I think it would just be a haunted elevator. I think it's not... I've seen other people... So these are my Spirit Halloween ideas. Like over like a bunch of years, I've drawn Spirit ideas, made them. Station theme. I think you might be in luck with a Haunted Mansion, because, you know, I think they're doing that. Returning theme, agreed, but Space Station would be cool. But yeah, these are just my Spirit ideas. This theme is just... I don't know. But anyways, yeah, like a mangy rat type thing would be really cool. Or just a straight up big rat. That would be cool. On hind legs or something. So those are these ideas. Now what comes next? I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure it's these ones, which I've shown on my channel, but that was a while back, like started 2021. Didn't have a lot of subscribers back then, so you might not have seen these. And if you have, you're a real OG. Haunted Pet Store. Maybe could work with, like, you know, Monty. Maybe, like, things like that. Standing Rat. Yeah, like, Mangy Rat, definitely. But these are on my channel before, so you can look for them. But the first one, Wacky-Mole returning. I'm not gonna go over this that much. It's Wacky-Mole, you know. And it would glow in black light, obviously. 6 foot tall, $230. And he would speak his original phrases, move side to side. Now, the different thing is his eyes would swirl for this one, and the mouth would move. Which the returning one did not do. But, of course, we all wanted Wacky-Mole to return, and he did. Parrot animatronic probably could be pretty cool, especially on, like, a shoulder or something. Then the Werewolf from American Werewolf in London, officially licensed. It would be $210, 3.5 feet tall, and it would be by Crazy Crate. Oh, thanks. I like if you're talking about either of them. These drawings are better than the last ones, that's for sure. But this guy would have the Nightcrawler animation, jumping up, you know, like, turning side to side, like that. And he'd make the howls that the werewolf in the film makes, which are really creepy. Yeah, a massive snake would be awesome, definitely for, like, jungle theme idea I just had. Thank you. Now, flipping through, I like these ones. You might get spoilers from the others. Yeah, no, 12-foot skeleton's awesome. The only reason it's so stupid why I'm not buying him, because it's like about $400 here in, the north. But, it's like, yeah, $400 big skeleton, cool. But I'd rather take clowns, which is stupid. Mutated dog, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just passing by, I don't know. But this one would be called the Dramatic Clown. Don't know if you guys have seen this. I quite like this idea, Thanks. I personally like this idea, but, the drawing isn't the best. But it would be a clown with a, like, drama mask, and it would have this force demon animation of, like, popping up and forward. And he'd also take the mask off, and it would be all scratched, mutilated, gory, eyeless. Pretty cool, honestly. I like the gory props. Thank you. They only get better, so look out for that. It would be 6 foot tall, $270. Probably would be higher price, but not as egregious as, like, some of the other ones. But yeah, it would just have, like, 3 different phrases. I don't know why I specified 3. I think I did for a lot of these. This next one is fairly neat. That's a spoiler. But this is called Old Tom. It would be this scarecrow guy. Looks like yeah, he does, doesn't he? Maybe that's another prop I predicted. But he would be this scarecrow that could have 2 animations that you could sort of interchange. Sort of like a toe-tagged corpse situation. Gotta keep spoiling the other ones. But one of the animations, it would sort of like lunge forward off its cross. And the other one, its head would just like snap back and forth. It'd come with different audios, obviously. But, it would be fairly cool. So it would be... We all enjoy gory props, but alas, they're so rare nowadays. Spiky the Killer Clown licensed. You'll see later. You'll see later. But yeah, it would be 6.5 feet, $160, probably crazy create. Electrical Zombie. I love electrical zombies. Party City Pop and Scarecrow. Okay. Home Depot. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, honestly, Home Depot this year has grown off on me. I don't know. Its props are starting to like be a little less cool to me. Are you going to flagship? Hopefully, I intend to. I intend to go to flagship. That's for sure. Maybe with the more lives I'm doing, you can recognize my face. Maybe I'll get an End of the Road Haunt shirt or something. I don't know. But anyways, going over to these ones. This is the Infected, which we like to say there's no gory props nowadays. I don't think this would have flew ever for Spirit if you're seeing this one. It was definitely inspired by SCP-610. Again, Flesh Monsters. I love my fleshy body horror stuff. Hey Bale Popper 2023 remake. Heard that might be happening, so that's cool. Hey Bale Popper's pretty neat, honestly. But yeah, this is what it would look like. Definitely very gory. Couldn't see them doing this. Scarecrow with Mr. Dark Mechanism. That would be sick. But it would be 6.2 feet. $240. Not that bad. Yeah, it is sort of reminiscent of a clicker. I mean, this is the sort of stuff I want from Spirit. They would throw a fit if we showed them this. Hey, maybe they should come here. They should do a 5-foot clown head. Maybe, I guess, if you're talking like a big clown head, that would be neat. This is a large Scarecrow Demon. That's pretty much Nightmare Harvester, though, Scarecrow Demon. Of course, maybe you mean with the horns, but I mean, But it would... It's looking... Yeah. Yeah, no, the Sinister character is way too big. Seriously, 6 foot would have been cool. Do you think Spirit will do pneumatics? Do I think? I don't know. Do I hope? Damn yes, I really want them to do pneumatics. Home Depot, yeah. But what would it do? Its head would twitch a bit, the tentacles would move, turn side to side. Honestly, a lot of movement. Very gory. Again, couldn't see Spirit doing this. But it would make screaming and moaning and squishing sounds would be really gross. But I love body horror weird props. Very The Thing, SCP-610 stuff. If you don't know what I'm looking to, they should do pneumatics. They would be too bad. I really like... Yeah, the Wendigo I liked at first, but it went down for me, definitely. This next one I do really like as well, maybe my top 5. Probably not, but yeah, they'd overprice them. Mr. Dark, it would, definitely. But this guy here, let's see, is the Face Merchant. This is inspired by, know the stereotypical cartoon thing. There's like a merchant who like pulls open his coat and he has a bunch of stuff. It would oh no, I lost it. It would basically be that, but a bunch of cut off faces. Again, some of the Spirit wouldn't do. These are really gory ideas. But, you know, I'd absolutely love that. It would be so creepy. Could be an easy custom. But I think that's pretty neat. It would have, like, no skin here. Yeah. I don't know about beautiful. They're a little horrendous in the right way. But he'd have no, like, skin here. It would all be, like, sharp teeth, white eyes. Very, like, gaunt. I think that would be really cool. Plague Doctor Scarecrow would be sick. But he'd be $210. Probably techie design. Could work. A good techie. That would be really cool. Jumping Zombie, 6.5 foot. Definitely pretty cool. I mean, zombies are awesome. And what it would do is I sort of have the animation out of order, if you can read that. But it would, like, speak to you, its eyes would light up and its mouth would move. Then it would open the coat and it would, like, throw back its head and laugh. That would be pretty freaky, like he's, you know, spooking you. But, like, Face Merchant, definitely very disturbing, cool idea. I'd love to see it. Could be an easy custom to do. So, you know, if you think of that, that would be pretty cool. Coming up to these, this is going to be a long-ass video. I'm wondering if I'm going to have to call it sometime, do a part 2. But we got a lot to go, and I love talking about this stuff. Way too underpriced for it. Yeah, no, definitely. 209 gets you like a tabletop nowadays. Thomas the Best Scarecrow. Alright. But this first one is called the Blazing Demon. Very original name. But it would have it would look very similar to Smoldering Zombie in the way it would be like cracks and stuff. It would have glowing horns. Its whole head would light up pretty much. Have LCD eyes. And it would... I'm sorry, it's been a while since I've seen these. But... speak multiple phrases, obviously. Be 5 foot tall, which is a little short, I don't know. But its head would move up and down, and its arms would go like this, I think. Are you excited for 2023? Definitely. I think it will be a very good year, this one. Cracked at Fortnite. For some reason, I say cracked at Fortnite whenever I do well at anything. I don't know. I can be playing, like, Minecraft. I'll be like, I'm cracked at Fortnite, dude. But yeah, this would be sort of neat. And its mouth would move, except that would be a little hard to pull off. This one, this one is a twitching mummy. I don't have to go over the animation very much, because it would just be like twitching Banshee. Thanks. It would just be like twitching Banshee, but it would, like, you know, twitch, sort of like that, like twitching clown, but it would be, you know, mummy. It would have red eyes, and it would, like, you know, move in the, it says moves in a circle, but I'm pretty sure that would be pretty, like, you know, $200, 6 foot, SVI. But, you know, mummies are cool, and I think a twitching mummy would be simple, but beloved by many. You should work for Spirit's design team. I mean, honestly, that could be a pretty cool career move. Deathstalker, really excited to see what that'll be. But let's see. Ghostface. This was when we thought Ghostface would happen in 2021, and it did. It just sucked. But this would be like, you know, life-sized. It would stab and turn side to side. Very suggestive motion. But that's stabbing. Officially licensed. What's your real name? I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you my real name. But it would be $250, and it would have the, like, licensed scream quotes. No just stabbing and stabbing sounds and that sort of stuff. You know, gotta walk my... okay. You gotta go. Farewell. But yeah, this next one would be the Guardian of Halloween, which I really want Pumpkin Guardian of the Grave to return. I really like him for some reason. So this would be that, but like 7 foot tall, giant towering prop. And he'd have the same phrases and just turn side to side, light up. He'd be $190, which is not... yeah, Crypt Keeper will probably happen. Never mind, you're back. Okay. But he'd be techie design, obviously. But I think he'd be sort of neat. You know, I think people might like him a little more than just the Pumpkin Guardian of the Grave, because he's taller and stuff. But let's see. Next one. This one would be online only for some stupid reason. But this is the kidnapper, which would be this. Okay. Which would be this tall ass skeleton guy with like tentacle hands. He'd be holding a kid in each hand, very clowning around Ash. Yeah. Oh, a scissor left. Yeah, that would be so cool. Uh, but it would be $400. The first accurate price we've gotten finally. 8 feet tall. It would be giant. It would probably be more than 400 now that I think about it. But what it would do is it would speak phrases. It would sort of turn side to side, and it would say Monster Mondays, I guess. But it would sort of say like something about possessing the kids, and then their heads would spin around to reveal like all cracked and possessed, if you can sort of make out there. But I think this would be very cool. But yeah, those kids would scream and wriggle until they get possessed. I think that would be super cool, honestly. This like a really good idea. I'm sorry, I'm an egomaniac. This next one is the tortured barrel zombie. Again, a fairly standard zombie, but I like that. Thank you. Giving a Halloween City 22, yeah, sorta. But it would be 4 feet, pop up to 5 feet. It would be 170. Yeah, Nightcrawler's back there was his 3D glasses. But, you know, crazy crate. And it would be fog compatible. It would just pop out of the barrel, scream and stuff. It would light up inside. It would be like one of those fire barrels that you see in, like, the alleyways and movies and stuff, but with a zombie inside. Be burning and stuff. Fog would come out. Pretty standard idea, but, you know, that's still cool, really. This next one is the head collector, which would be another Krampus reskin, I think. I love that animation. I mean, in terms of the leg. Maybe skeleton pumpkin. What does rotten pumpkin head look like? Hanging pumpkin head. That would be pretty cool. That would be sick. Like the furnace, I guess. Crazy Killer 210. Okay. But yeah, this would be 7 foot tall. I straight up said IDK for the company. I stopped bothering with companies for a while. But it would be like 7 foot, $300, and it would just turn side to side. It would be holding a machete and heads, and it would just make a bunch of like wind blowing sounds. Very silent, but I think it could be very creepy. To be a pumpkin or clown? Maybe. The 10-foot zombie? I haven't seen that. Maybe leaks came out, I don't know. I also don't know if I believe you, straight up. But, you know, I think this would be a very creepy idea. Just very uncanny. We have so much more to go, oh my god. But yeah. Yes, and then there's the Soul Witch, which would be a witch that's like, it would be, like, should I straight up stop going over prices? But it would be $230, techie design, 5.5 feet, and it would just, its mouth would move, eyes light up, and it would speak phrases, and then it's, like, fog would come out of its hand with a green light. Not the worst idea, honestly pretty freaky. I'm not good at drawing witches, they're obviously not my thing. But, you know, like a spell-casting witch with fog, definitely, like, a fairly interesting idea. I love good fog usage on props. The next ones are 3 returning ideas. So let's rapid fire. A, Barnyard Butcher. He's essentially the same as, that would be pretty cool, Walter White. Yeah, they should do a nuclear waste theme, definitely. I sort of thought of a nuclear power plant theme for some other ideas. Oh my god, 814. So Barnyard Butcher, same prop as before, pretty cool. Giant Jumping Spider, same prop as before, pretty cool. But then we have Harbinger of Hell, which not a lot of people request to come back, but he's sick. But he'd be a lot different. He would be like latex, his mouth would move, so it wouldn't just have that clacking, and his like pointer finger would like turn back like side to side as if he's pointing at things. His mouth would move, and he just had the same phrases, but they could add new ones. I think that would be pretty cool. And like, you know, some new, how many drawings do you, I have a lot. That's why I keep commenting I might have to do a second one. But I have a lot. Of course, you can rewatch the stream, whatever. Thanks. But they only get better from here, so, you know. But Harbinger of Hell's super underrated. I love him. Now, this next theme idea is a little forced, honestly. I don't know why I came up with it, but I like some because we're at the theme ideas now. I don't have theme ideas for all of them, but this one would be Spirit Hollow's Village. This would have 14 animatronics, and it would look like that. It's not the most unique, but I think it's fairly neat. You stole my ideas. I literally just made. Okay, sorry. Although, I didn't steal these. I made these 2 years ago, so I think you might be the real copycat, brother. But, I think this is fairly neat. It would be very reminiscent of Spirit Hollow. I think I was just feeling nostalgic for that. I love the Spirit Hollow theme. It's sick. I don't know if I'll go over prop placements, but just really quickly, let's fire through these. Wacky Mole there, Old Tom there, in the front riser. There'd be sort of a walkthrough with props on the porches, but you'd have Blazing Demon right there, Twitching Mummy, Barnyard Butcher, then the Black Jumping Spider, Face Merchant would be back here, Head Collector would be back here, and then the Giant Jumping Spider, the Infected, Man's Possessed Friend, he'd return. Has a ram photo inside his house. Yep, sheep. Guardian of Halloween would be there, and Harbinger of Hell here, Tortured Barrel Zombie. Well, thanks. Although one thing I will say, I changed this from what would arguably cooler a city to a village, which looking back at it, I'm like, why? A city theme would be so much cooler. Yeah, I love that. But like a city theme with zombies and stuff, like could you imagine if they did like a sort of walkthrough in the back theme that was a city, and there'd be like a sort of projection on the ceiling with like zombies climbing up the things and well, thanks. A city would be way better. But tying into the city theme, we would have the Spirit Theater. Obviously, lots of people that have had movie theater ideas. So your favorite animatronic from 2022? I'd say Lord Raven. Definitely. But this is what it would look like. It would have a walkthrough in it. Your name is... Okay. I guess. But it would have a, like, now closed sign. That would be, like... It would be falling apart. The reason it's falling apart was because I was too lazy to draw on, like, now closed. But it would have, like, now playing your death. Very woo. And then Jack the Reaper up there. He'd sort of look side to side. I think that would be cool. Halloween Man 2002. Hello. Hello. Then the layout. The walkthrough would have sort of movie screen. That would have, like, sort of like the things they did in 2017, 2018 for the props. They do for these ones as well. Show that. The Hauntress would be there when you exit the walkthrough. Both Jumping Spiders would be there. And then there'd be Ghostface. Yeah, it would be pretty cool, especially with, like, 2 scoops. Dramatic Clown, and then the Werewolf. Most of the licensed props would be here. I'm sorry it's like I'm speeding through these. It's just, there are a lot of prop ideas here. But, oh, hey, I did draw that. Shit, you guys better get ready. Alright, sorry that I'm off screen. I'm just, conjuring up these ideas, looking for them. Don't chat or else I won't see it. Let's see. Let's collect these. Well, I didn't do too many from this batch. Actually, we're fairly run out. But okay, let's go over these. Oh, that's my closet. You don't want to see that. All right. To begin, we have Pumpkin Nester returning. Obviously, everybody wants Pumpkin Nester. Everybody wants Pumpkin Nester. Pretty standard. Then we have Jumbo the Clown from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. He'd be $300. Not accurate at all. 7 feet tall, maybe a little taller. And his head would nod a bit. He'd, do that gesturing motion. And, he'd do this. Thanks. I appreciate it. And he just have very he is. I love Pumpkin Nester. But he'd have very similar audio to Shorty, just with jumbo noises. But, this is definitely the spookiest scene in Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Love that movie. But yeah, turning over things, because those are, licensed returning, not the most original. This one here is the Void Creature, again tying into themes of otherworldly stuff. I love that so much. I love the otherworldly, like, Lovecraftian type stuff. But it would be 3.5 feet, 209, and you'd attach it to a wall, and it would have sort of, like, cover to look like it's sort of popping out of the void at you. Could be neat, definitely. And it would sort of screech and growl, and it would have like servo head movement and the mouth moves. Bring back Pumpkin Nester, same. Should take Nightcrawler and shrink him down to cat size. Young Nightcrawler, let's go! But yeah, it would be like servo motion, and it would also have a beating heart if you see there, that he didn't say, but it would like beat. That would be like really cool. I did close up of the face, but you really didn't need that to see Jumbo animatronic. Oh yeah, no, a Jumbo animatronic with Officer Mooney would be so cool. It would be overpriced as hell, but it would be awesome so much. But yeah, this would like be hooked on the wall, and I think that would be, yeah, no, it would, if they made it, it would cost like a crap ton. Then this one, if you're familiar with the SCP universe, I brought up it, SCP-096. Again, licensing around SCP stuff would be fishy, since there are multiple authors. Like, I don't know how the licensing works around that, especially for making props. I'm not the guy to ask about that. But it would be 7.5 feet when fully risen. Like, it would be 260 officially licensed, and it would just make, like, crying and screaming noises, obviously. And it would, like, it would be down, it would, like, its hands would reveal its face, sort of, like, pop up, uncover its face. Maybe it would be, like, pretty hard to do that animation, especially, there'd probably have to be a, like, invisible pole here, which would look strange, like he's got something going up his, but that would be a little, I don't know, but that's probably how they get the popping up. It would be cool if props, like, oh, yeah, like, if Easter eggs in movie theater, oh, yeah, like, especially, like, you know, that would be cool. Like, if they made movie posters for stuff like the Barnyard Butcher and stuff, that would be so cool. The Barnyard Butcher is such a movie slasher villain. That's why I love him so much. But, you know, fairly neat idea. You know, SCPs are cool. Off topic, can you please show us a full body character? No, I have not. You don't want to see that. Trust me. Trust me, you don't want to see that. Ah, great, I think he left. Maybe you're too threatened. But now, this is another one I've showed. Killer Queen animatronic idea. Could be neat. No, you're not seeing that. But you've probably seen this if you've seen my 2022 ideas. Because I didn't even redo it. But this is Model 31, which would be like an electrical box with like wires coming out. And it would have a skull on top with a bunch of wires stuck into it. I think this would be super creepy. Have the catacomb creature animation and have like electronic screams and stuff. This would be like either just a light up plastic piece or like some sort of screen that would just have like a heartbeat on it as if it's some sort of like zombie robot. I think that would be so sick. Killer robots are definitely underrated. They don't do them enough. But you know, it would have like blood coming out of the grate and all. Definitely very surreal but creepy idea. I think Model 31 would be pretty neat. Nightcrawler goes to the movies? Maybe. But, it, you know, $270, 6.5 feet, catacomb creature motion. I think it's pretty neat. The next one, I didn't write anything for, so I guess you can make it up. And it's a little, its name is weird, it's Caleb C. Crow, don't know why. But it would be this Birdman, which, one of the reasons I was so hyped when Lord Raven came out is because this is essentially what it is. It would be like a sort of Victorian-ish, like, old-time person, like a coat, a hat, and it would be like a bird face. That's all fleshy and stuff. And it would have sort of Mr. Howl animation where it would, like, look up and his mouth would move. It would, like, squawk and stuff, really sickly screeches. I love, like, bird people. I don't know why. Like, plague doctors, birds, flesh monsters. Awesome. So cool. But, like, it would just be a bird creature. Pretty creepy. But, you know, I think that would be neat. Turning over, we have experiment number 12, which is essentially the live contents crate. If you're not familiar with that yet, just rewind the stream later. But that's essentially what it is. It's pretty much the exact same thing. Then we have a licensed Harry Warden / the Miner from My Bloody Valentine. And it would be the same animation as the Caretaker. It would have breathing and, like, clinking sounds like a pickaxe against rock. We've reached 1 hour of streaming. Wow. But, like, 5.8 feet tall, maybe 6. But it would look just like him in the movies. Like, 230, officially licensed. Mr. Howell was sick. But yeah, that's just what it would be. I love My Bloody Valentine. I have the NECA Harry Warden figure right there. Maybe I should show you my collection of those things someday. Do a lot of community posts about them. But yeah, Harry Warden, I love My Bloody Valentine. And yeah, I think this will be the next one. Yeah, I don't have any more from this batch except for the theme ideas. But these ones I didn't draw a lot of, but this one would be make your own. And I didn't color it. Servo, Tower, and Clown, maybe, but, Tower and Clowns are a little oversaturated. But what this would be is Spirit has their, like, they're, like, dummies that you put costumes onto. That would be this, and it would have, like, 5 audio settings. I think it would just, like, turn side to side. Maybe servo movement if we're lucky, but I don't know. But you just slap a costume on this bad boy or something, boom, your own animatronic. And it would have, like, 5 audios to select from. One being, like, zombie growl to maybe clown laughter. Just stuff like that. This would be, like, make your own prop. Definitely neat. This next one, robots would be cool if they did a space station. I had an idea for that. And I'll show you my theme idea for this batch. But let's see. This next one is Watching Wendigo. It would be behind tree not included. But it would be like, Wendigos that would just, like, it would sort of be like the Hauntress, but a lot more slower. It would just be like, you put it behind a corner and it would look. There'd be like a stick out leg. This could be really creepy to have like a home or something. When like Wendigos are awesome. And, pretty simple, but cool. Yeah. Now the next one, someone mentioned a life-size Spiky idea. Boom. Here we go. This would be a pop-up Spiky, obviously from the puppet show scene. Puts on the puppet show, so the whole booth would be included. Like, pop up, the lid would flap up. Hopefully you guys aren't bored to death by this stuff. But it would be like 5.5 feet. $240, $250, officially licensed. Of course, price might not be the most accurate, but hey, I think this would be neat. But yeah, that's the animation. It would make, like, clown noises with the, like, cotton candy gun stuff. And, I was really obsessed with the Killer Clowns from Outer Space at this time. I still like them, but I'm not as nearly, like, fanatical as I was for them. Not bored, this sauce? Well, thank you. Kind of like Friend in the Box. Yeah, similar-ish motion. I think more of what's it called? Incinerator. Like, or Cryo Chamber, of course, the flapping. But, they're definitely similar. This is the theme now. I didn't do that much ideas there. But this is the theme. I didn't do too much of the back theme. But this is Spirit Nuclear. Not bored? Okay, thank you. And it's funny because I did a lot of, like, big drawings here of, like, sign stuff. But the drawing that shows the actual theme, Pinhead license prop, that would be neat, is right there. That's what the front would look like. So it would be, like, if you see here, it would be 4 cooling towers. And there'd be sort of, like, risers the props would be on. And it would be, like, covered in moss. Very reminiscent to the Zombie Wasteland theme. There'd be sort of, like, metal fences, like chain link fence with barbed wire for the archway. Like, maybe some alarm lights, that would be cool. But, like, a haunted nuclear reactor would be so cool. In the cooling towers that would be on the sides, there'd be these little nooks where props would be in. Definitely pretty neat touch. And there'd be these sort of piping networks here that would be, like, just there. It would be a lot like the Zombie Wasteland. Here's a sign I had, like, may contain haunted items. I don't know. Sort of like radioactive things, but haunted. And the walkthrough would have a bunch of, like, control panels and stuff on the side. Like, you're in the control room for a nuclear reactor. And, it would be like that. It would have the coffin-shaped doors. But the screens would show, like, sort of different scenes of the nuclear reactor, and there would be like zombies mucking about, and like something clearly bad has happened, which would be so cool, like a nuclear reactor Fallout theme. So sick. Yeah, a haunted nuclear power plant. Such a, I'm totally gloating, but it would be a really sick thing to see. But you know, that's that. And the I don't have nearly as much on the other side, but the back theme would be the nuclear reactor. It would have the cooling towers with like prop in there, some here. And the actual thing itself would be like a nuclear reactor. It's all busted open. You can see inside. That's definitely not what a nuclear reactor looks like, but whatever. You know, that's the back theme. Pretty standard. And 831, okay. Now let's go on to what I believe are the final batch of props, but I have a lot for them. Didn't draw the themes, but I can describe them to you the best as possible. Let's see. Oh yeah, these ones, some of them are in the thumbnail. Ooh, nuclear. Yeah, rundown nuclear power plant. So cool. Now, these ones are from some more recent videos, but you can still see them. Like here, and there's some you have not seen. There's some I have posted. If you have seen them, I would be very concerned. But the first one, you may be familiar with, Hourglass figure, sussy name. But it's this mummy with servo motion that would like turn side to side, and its body would be an hourglass. Have like the pharaoh headdress, you can see teeth there that are revealed. And it would be $250, 6 feet tall. It would not be that much. But you know, this could be definitely very neat. Like the hourglass might be like solid plastic or something. Maybe a little much, but like the Area 51, yeah, like Area 51 is really underrated. But you know, servo motion pretty much, servo head, servo arm, turn side to side, and it would just speak phrases about like your time's running up. Yeah, the next one is another killer clown, but it would be Chubby. And he'd be holding the cotton candy cocoon, which with the recently released one, I've realized $350 might be like complete pipe dream, because the cotton candy cocoon they are selling is $150, so it'd essentially just be that, but with the whole ass clown, and he'd be giant too. Again, not accurate price, but he'd be about 6 feet tall, and what he'd do is he would like move forward and backwards slightly. He'd make slurping and grunting sounds, and like head would pop out of the cocoon a bit, so that would be neat. You know, fairly cool idea. Like if you're a Killer Clowns from Outer Space fan, I could definitely see you liking this. Obviously, the next ones I have, you can probably still see. Hold on, I flipped over the. Yeah, okay, never mind. Chubby B looking kind of thick. Yeah, smash or pass. Please don't actually do that. Even though I totally do that. Now the next one I have is the name that I did that video. But I did that video about how to fake Spirit Halloween leak, and one of the names I put Mr. Teeth, and some people were like, Mr. Teeth, that's such a funny idea, Mr. Teeth. But I was a bit like, oh, I'm serious. That's a genuine idea I have. And the name might be silly, but this is what he looks like. He'd be a static prop, but he'd be adjustable, so he could be like 7 feet or 9 feet, like by adding poles or like extending them. And his face would just be like a mouth, like just big teeth, maybe like painted on drool or something. That would be like super creepy. $210, which is not accurate either. Probably around $300. But he'd just be a well-dressed man, and he'd make like breathing, wheezing sounds, like very like, because obviously he's just, you know, teeth. And there'd be like distorted ballroom music in the background, which would be really creepy. Like this guy out front of a mansion would be really cool, definitely. The next one is, you know, I like this. The next one is Call of the Void, which would be this guy in a straitjacket. He'd be like facing a corner or something, and he'd turn around, probably name like Jeremy or Jimmy. Okay, but that's not my name. Or this guy. Yeah, I could see him being a Jerry, honestly. Like, Jerry fits this guy fairly well. But, you know, this guy, it would be like, unassuming at first, but it would turn around and it would have like a mutated squid face. Again, I keep bringing up the cosmic horror Lovecraft stuff, but I love that so much. I've said that so many times. But 6 feet tall, $200, probably not accurate price. But it would make like chanting sounds or something, talking about like the other realm. Then it would turn back, reveal itself to you. Pretty creepy, honestly. I like this idea. I think it could be very neat. Please excuse my burping. Yeah, no, I think Mr. Teeth would be sick. The name is goofy, but the prop itself is like pretty cool, honestly. Now we have more, obviously. Ooh. Sure, let's show these first. Some more you've seen, but this is Dr. Payne, definitely inspired by Dr. Satan from House of Thousand Corpses. Very gory. He'd be pretty much a, like, reimagining of Barnyard Butcher, except he's, like, a doctor. But he'd have this, like, bag with a stethoscope over his head, and it would flip up, and he'd just be all skinned, gory, bloody, like, all teeth showing. That's definitely very disturbing. He'd be very... Yeah, no, he's very bloody. He has the syringe with, like, yellow liquid in it, and he'd be holding a, like, cut-off, bandaged patient head that has, like, a spine hanging off. Definitely, if I were to rank my favorite ideas, this could be #1, honestly. It would be up there. There's another one from here that I've got some comments on that people really liked. That's called Where's Face? Or, yeah. Yeah, eyes would be really cool, too. Like, they have this one mask that's like a face, but there's just a bunch of eyes everywhere. That would be so cool. Or just one big eye, like an eyesore from Terraria. Yes, I'm a Terraria nerd. But this would definitely be very cool. $209, 6 feet tall. And he turns side to side, his mouth would move, the mask flips up, obviously. And he'd speak phrases, and there'd be, like, screaming sounds in the background. Farewell. See ya. You had cool ideas. Turning the page over, you have not seen these ones. This one would be called Manny the Mime. I'm very uncreative with names. At least it's better than, like, Falling Face Clown. But mimes are definitely very unique. They don't do a lot of mime props. Dr. Payne, probably a little too scary. Yeah, but I still like these ideas. They're mine. In my optimal spirit world, they'd have these. But basically, he would be 220, 6 feet tall, and his animation would be sort of similar to Peekaboo Clown. He wouldn't talk. It would just be like circus music. But he'd have like 3 faces. One of them would be smiling. He reveals his face. He's smiling. Then his head would spin around underneath. He'd be revealing and he'd be all sad. And then they should be more gory. Your name is probably with a J or the most common name in the USA. 2 things. A, I'm not in the USA. B, it doesn't start with a J. I'm not telling you my name. But, you know, once some, like, stuff that maybe, like, in the future, but not like this future, definitely. But 226 feet tall, 6 feet tall, and once he reveals his final face, it would be very Peekaboo Penny-esque, like missing eyes with wrinkles, like a big gaping mouth. You know, not a very gory idea, but it's one that would be really freaky nonetheless. Yeah, mimes would be sick. They can be really cool. It should have a pump in the blood, so that would be really cool. Yeah, nozzles is not worth $350. I was thinking of spending that on him, but I came to my senses. Plus, dude, here in Canada with the exchange rate, he's $420. Let that sink in. $420 for nozzles. Think about that. Now, maybe with him having green gas and all, 420 could be, you know, like 420 weed clown. But, yeah, $420 for nozzles. That's a lot of money. Factor in taxes. But, yeah, I'm not joking. Krampus was $420 as well, but at least he got something out of Krampus. Like, at least he was giant. But, yeah. The next one would be called the Swaying Scarecrow. Yeah, I know. It's so bad. But this guy would be I was gonna do a clown version of him, but I didn't draw it. But he'd be really tall, hunched over, like 330, 7 feet tall. Not an inaccurate price. But what he would do is he'd just turn side to side. He'd have that big, bloody mouth, and his like mouth would move. And the reason he's called Swing is because his arms would be on a swing. Sorry about my dogs. But his arms would be on a spring, and so they'd kind of like sway in the wind. He'd be a very creepy prop to have at like the end of the trail or something. Um, his head and body move side to side. Mouth moves. His eyes light up. His arms are on springs, obviously, and it says he do blood. Still not to let that slide. You should have seen the infected. Possessed pumpkin has stupid phrases. Yeah, and I said this guy would have phrases, but looking back on it, I don't really know, honestly. I think he'd be cooler as just growls or something. Obviously, stuff like, "You dare enter my cornfield" would be very, 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 very cheesy. Like, it would, the big monster thing would be a lot cooler just silent. I think I accidentally skipped over this guy, but I definitely still found him cool. But this is the Graveyard Flasher. We've seen him before. But he'd be $260, 6 feet tall. And last year there was a thing around projection technology, which is what he'd use. You see, he'd sort of flash you and show all his bones and stuff. Haha, classic, which could be cool on its own. However, yeah, there are quite a lot of sus props in here. Hourglass figure, Graveyard Flasher. I don't know. But the projections would show a bunch of bugs, like crawling along his rib cage, like he's in decomposition. Have creepy cloth on him, and there'd just be a bunch of like spiders and like worms moving around. It might look dopey in person, but as a concept, it would be very neat. There'd be like creepy, like a sort of cloth there, so the projection would show. But like, I think this would be pretty cool. He is a Mr. Salty reskin. But it would be like, make the face open scary. Probably. But, like, he'd be fairly kid-friendly, but in a way that haunters would still be like, oh, hey, that's a neat idea. Which I think is, like, sort of what Spirit should encompass. As much as I want this level of gore, I don't think they do it. But, like, a Nightcrawler Bog Zombie level of scary, I think is, like, a decent amount, honestly. Not the best, of course, I want, really. Yeah, like, bugs crawling out of his eyes. Cool. Mr. Salty was, like, fairly rare. Oh, hey, you're back. Very nice. But, yeah. Yeah, Nozzles is Snoop Dogg. Yeah, no, he... But, yeah, on to this. Another... I showed this idea a while back, and, like, from what I've heard, a lot of people are like, wow, that's cool. I think this is on par with Dr. Payne, honestly. Maybe a little more disturbing, because hate to really hype it up, but it involves violence toward a child. And I'm not talking just in a cage. But this is the Sweet Snatcher. If you're familiar with me and seen these back last year, probably be familiar. But it would be $300, probably more than that. Lucky Bottoms was more so unlucky. Yeah, 6 feet tall for him, but it would be like 4 foot wide or so. And it would be this clown guy whose face is made of candy. He'd have, like, beard made of black licorice. He'd have, like, lollipop eyes, a like, sucker nose. And he'd have this kid that would be shaking and screaming, and its jaws ripped off and just stuffed with candy and bloody. I really don't think they do this. This is, like, in the list of never happening, because violence toward a child, which even the old Spirit did not do. But, yeah, like, Sweet Snatcher would be... He'd take up a lot of space, but he'd be so cool. Yeah, if they make... I don't think it would even be an online only. I think it just straight up wouldn't happen. Ralphie, yeah. But he'd just be in a bunny costume. It would work, especially with the jaw. But the clown's head would sort of turn to face the kid. He'd just be talking to you and stuff about, like, just candy in general. And his arm with the candy would turn side to side. And he'd be pretty disturbing. The mouth would move, and the kid would just shake and scream. And he'd be, like, very monotone in color, except for the face, which could really pop out. But this is definitely a very disturbing prop idea. But I like it. I mean, I like some disturbing here and there. Not like, nihilistic disturbing. Like, I haven't watched The Human Centipede, and I'm not going to. But, Next is Jack Griffin, which, if you're unaware, is the name of the Invisible Man from the original 1933 one. This would be $200, 5.7 feet tall. Spirit doesn't do. Hopefully they would, but Party City's filed for bankruptcy as well, so I don't know how they'll be. I hope they'll make it out though. Although, as I've said with that rant video, Party City's sort of out of my reach. But but this is the Invisible Man, and what he'd do is he'd have a tube there that would bubble. He'd be in his bathrobe, and he'd just pull the bandages off, and there'd be nothing beneath it. Obviously, for the invisible effect, could be a little better, maybe Graveyard Flash's situation. But even so, I don't think he could fit the poles in there in a way you wouldn't see them. But yeah, he just speak phrase from the film, pull away his bandages. I think this is a pretty neat idea. The Invisible Man is my favorite of the universe. Yeah, I have not watched that. Don't ask me about it. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm sorry. I'm not watching that. But the Invisible Man is my favorite of the Universal monsters, and it would be really cool. Gotta go. See ya. Let's see. It's more like a kid prop than a scary one. Sure, maybe. But, I think they gotta mix them in a bit. I don't think Spirit should be all, cut off arms and stuff. There needs to be a little bit of diversity in there. A little something for everything. But I like to lean towards scary props. But, the Halloween collectors would definitely like Invisible Man. I think. Plan it. Okay. But yeah. Now, these ones are a little more bloody. And they're both serial killer related. Likes 50-50. Alright. But this would be called He Rises Again. And it would be this body bag that would open up. Should do a hanging prop that's a guy. Yeah, like an Achilles heel type thing. Go take Nightcrawler on a walk. Okay. The Human Centipede is... I wouldn't advise you check it out. I don't think you should watch it. Yeah, I don't... It sounds disturbing as hell. It's just a guy who stitches a bunch of people together into a centipede, so I'm not gonna talk about that. But yeah, this would be, yeah, some pointed out maybe SCP, but it has a drama face mask. But it would be this serial killer rising out of a bag. He sort of search his surroundings, chuckle, and go back in, sort of John Doe-esque. But I think that's still pretty neat. He, in terms of his stats, $200, 3 feet tall. But I think this could be very neat, especially some old techie ambience that they have for John Doe and stuff. Just because it's a very cliche thing. I'm not doing that. That's literally, yes, it is, maybe. But it has now the thing is though, SCP-035 didn't invent the whole trauma face mask. He's just wearing it. I mean, you could pass it off as him, but in my head, he's just supposed to be, a crazy serial killer. And it's very cliche, serial killers waking up in the morgue, Terrifier, Halloween-ish, Friday the 13th. So it would be a very classic feeling prop. Next one, because this was 2022 when it sort of came out, Halloween Ends was coming out, is Michael Myers from Halloween Kills, and he'd be $250, 6 feet tall, officially licensed. They should do, yeah, I mean, you saw my idea, I think that could be pretty neat. Unless he didn't, but then go rewatch this, I guess. But, officially licensed from Halloween Kills, and his head and body would turn side to side. It tried to make the mask not suck. But his head and body would turn side to side, and the arm with the knife would go up and down. Very reminiscent to the old Jemmy Michael Myers, because those were, really good. I wasn't the biggest fan of the looks, but the animations were superb. And it would just play, music from the film, probably just a Halloween theme, and it would just have ominous breathing sounds. Yeah, he would. Cool. I don't know if I'll do horror movie reviews, honestly. I like talking about horror movies, but I don't... I mean, maybe. It's something I might do. Large penguin! But Michael Myers, Halloween Kills. Pretty cool. And then we have one more page of ideas. I'll describe the the theme that I would have done for this, and then I'll go on to talk about a canceled idea I had, and then that'll be that. You can go on your merry way, finally free from the basement, because I'm obviously forcing you to watch this live stream. But this one is Fastest Hand of the Dead. Yeah. One that I don't think they'd really do because it involves a firearm. Little controversial spirit, but it wouldn't be like a shooter or anything. John Doe was sick. He's so creepy. But it would be a zombie cowboy. He'd be $200, 6 feet tall. Yeah, a zombie cowboy with a gun. Yeah, but it would sort of be like looking down like this. It would say something, and it would be jump scare props. So its head and arm would like lunge up. It would point the gun at you. It would, speak phrases and maybe make shooting noises. Maybe they'd have to do a little weirder sounding shooting noises other than like realistic, as to not trigger any like, Vietnam grandpas or anything, because that would be very bad. PTSD in this. Jesus, we're approaching 90 minutes. Yeah, we see every weapon, so why? Yeah, like, maybe it would be a little different in the States, but I'm not gonna get into gun politics. That's complicated. But it would exactly be the Kotrak monster animation. They need more zombie props, and especially they've done no cowboys. Has a really cool animation for the robot. That would be pretty sick. But yeah, it would just lunge up. But this could be pretty cool. Be beard. Oh, also, something that they wouldn't do. Drug use. Smoking a cigar. But he'd be all skeletal, like, part of his face would be missing. There'd be, like, a shot in his head, like he lost a standoff or something. That's what his phrase could be about. But zombie cowboys. Pretty neat. Then this one is called Melting Marvin. Sort of similar to the mime one. And it wouldn't be that accurate in terms of gore, but whatever. But it's this short clown on stilts. He'd be $300, 7 feet tall, and what he'd do is he'd, like, be smiling, and then he'd, like, turn the, he probably does, really. But he'd put the fire up to his face, breathe, and it would, like, the stick would fog fire out like he's a fire breather. And then while that's happening, his face would turn around. We had made a really gross prop. That's it. Ugh. I don't like to think about that. But then his face would turn around and it would be all melted and gory and like, it wouldn't be very bloody. I don't know if that's what I'd go for, but it would still be pretty creepy, clown melting his face off. But yeah, the torch fogs and he speak phrases and stuff. I think this could be neat. Clowns on stilts aren't done commonly. You could say maybe that's what the towering clowns are, but this guy wouldn't really be... Well, I mean, he'd be tall, but not necessarily one of the towering props. But, that's sort of neat. The next one's coming up. Waterlogged zombie? Could be pretty cool. The next one's coming up. These are the thumbnail for this, I think. Or is it this? No, it's these. They should do a 12-foot snake would be so cool. But anyways, this one's just simply called Doc. Pretty simple. But it would be like $230, 6 feet tall, and it would be Plague Doctor, obviously, with a bloody staff. And his head would turn side to side really quickly, and he'd, like, swing his cane really rapidly, speak a bunch of phrases, and his eyes would glow. He'd, breathe a bunch. And his phrases would be about, like, having to avoid the infected and, like, mistaking you for one. So that would be pretty cool. I mean, Plague Doctors are awesome. He'd be a little more gory with the blood, obviously. Like, if you had a bunch of dead zombies around this guy, he'd be a little bit... Striking Cobra would be neat. He'd be a little bit like the Exterminator, not in the, like, look or anything, but in the sense he's someone in, like, a hazmat, maybe, like, technically a medieval hazmat, but he'd be all, like, concerned about getting infected or stuff. That would be really cool, actually. Spitting water, yeah, if it's some sort of fountain. And then, I did this after I watched The Black Phone, which, by the way, if you haven't seen, you gotta see. It's like a 10 out of 10, honestly. But this is the grabber from The Black Phone. That drawing's goofy as F. But it would be $300, obviously. 6 feet tall, officially licensed. COVID cougher. A little insensitive, but we're moving past it. So maybe that... Actually, now that you mention that, that's literally a Poison Props animatronic. Never mind. That's literally a Poison Props thing. But yeah, and it would have, you know how they did the MIT triggers a while back with like the ghost face? It would be like that, but there'd be the black phone. You like screw it to the wall and you could like answer it to like activate him, but that would be really cool. And he just turns side to side and his eyes would sort of move like left and right. But the poop monster. Clearly, it's 8:55 at night. At least where I am. Maybe it's later for you. But he's speak phase from the film. But what would be neat is he'd be a Sam situation in the way he has interchangeable heads-ish. But what it would be is he'd come with the, like, you know, this mask, which you see for most of the film. But you could also change him, so it'd come with, you could take the top mask off. Jesus, you guys are insane. I am too, honestly. You haven't, I mean, you don't know what I sound like at school. Yeah, it's an hour early for you. Okay. But you could, like, take the top of the mask off so he could be, like, just, you could see the top of his face, and you could slap the top hat and glasses on him for, like, sort of start of the, like, movie poster-ish look. But I think that would be pretty neat. I like these ideas. And that is all of the illustrated ones I have with me. I'm pretty sure those are all the ones I made. But before we go, stick around. I'm still talking. I'm not done. The theme for those, the front would be the Spirit Fairgrounds. Where do I get my ideas? I just make them. I have, you know, inspirations from them. Things like, hey, that would be cool. Maybe I see something and I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, that would be neat. That's just how I think of them. You know, sometimes gory. But the front theme would be Spirit Fairgrounds. So it would be this, like, big circus tent that you could walk in. Sweet Snatcher and Chubby would be there. And in front of the circus tent, there'd be, like, 2 carnival cars. The back would just be, like, a bunch of riser and barrels that, like, the props would be on. And there'd be, like, sort of clown train. Yeah. You mentioned me in quite a lot of things, actually, but I saw that. Especially one about favorite haunters, which, thank you. And it's a good what's my favorite type of prop? I'd say, like, demon creatures. They should do a bathroom theme. Yeah, honestly, like, a schoolboy's bathroom theme. Yeah, like, us gents out there would know that our school's bathrooms for us, literally the most heinous crap happens in there. Literally the most heinous things ever. But in terms of my favorite props, stuff like Nightcrawler or Harvester of Souls. Just weird, vague demon things. I mean, the Spirit gas station had a, you know, bathroom in it. But yeah, so the front theme would be like a circus sort of thing. And the back theme would be a prison that you could walk through. See, like, prison cells with, like, solitary confinement. And that's where a bunch of, like, killers, gory stuff would be. No, I believe it. Straight up at my... And you all know the pain where you're in the primary school that shares, like, maybe shares the school with kindergartners. And there's always that one kid that'll just pull their pants completely down to take a piss. You know what I'm talking about. Trust me, you do. You know, one time I walked into the bathroom, there's clearly used toilet paper on the floor. There was brown on it. I don't think I had to pee that bad. But anyways, that's a bit of a side tangent, don't we think? But yeah, and one idea I drew, but I didn't go through with, and straight up deleted, that was, better not have been. But, a drawn idea I had was this, like, sort of medieval kind of, like, brown, raggedy thing. Hey, Spirit Hollows, I'm sorry you're a tad late. If you're just joining in, I'm gonna wrap it up soon. But it would be this sort of, like, guy in these, like, brown, like, a brown robe and stuff. Yeah, but it's okay. You can rewatch it. I mean, you know. I think, yeah, stole a toilet seat, probably. I mean, hey, at least you tuned in. That's cool. And by the way, you know, oh yeah, the toilet paper's, like, really see-through. Also, Spirit Hollows, I'm following your, you know, ideas. They're pretty cool. And on the topic of ideas, you know, we were there. But the last one would be this guy in a, like, robe. And he'd be holding a giant jar. You're welcome. With a homunculus inside of it. And if you're not sure what a homunculus is, it's essentially an old alchemy concept of growing. Yeah. But it's the concept of growing a person inside of a jar. And so it would be this like big homunculus. Maybe it would pop out or you just see like hand I bet I will. They're pretty neat. But it would probably pop out or you just see its handprints. And honestly I thought like, hey, what if I, like got young I will, definitely. Oh, that's neat. But like getting young Crouchy and turning him into homunculus could be neat. But yeah, like that's my idea. And for those who stuck around for the whole or just joining in or whatever, uh, hi or bye, shall I say? I'm gonna be ending off this live stream. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. I guess next live stream I do. Don't know when that'll be. I'm a little tired. I gotta blow my nose real bad. My jaw's tired. But farewell. See ya, folks. Bye.